Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte has said he's honoured to have all but secured the role of NATO's next Secretary General.
Hezbollah warns Cyprus against aiding Israel as tensions escalate within the East Mediterranean.
Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte has said he's honoured to have all but secured the role of NATO's next Secretary General. On Thursday, Romania's President Klaus Iohannis withdrew from the race for the military's alliance top job, leaving Rutte the only remaining candidate. The Dutch Prime Minister's appointment could be sealed by a meeting of NATO ambassadors in the coming days, or when President Joe Biden and his NATO counterparts meet for a summit in Washington in July. Following the announcement of Iohannis' withdrawal, Rutte posed in jeans, a white shirt and sunglasses for selfies with people outside his office. Speaking to the press, Rutte explained why he went for the job.
Nou ja, ik had er aanvankelijk niet zo naar gezocht, maar ja, weet je, met alles wat er nu in Oekraïne gebeurt en de instabiliteit in de wereld. En een aantal mensen die dachten dat ik dat misschien zou kunnen, dacht ik, ja, je kunt het ook niet zomaar terzijde schuiven. En dat is natuurlijk een ongelooflijk interessante functie.
Goede reis, hoi.
Mark Rutte has faced a number of scandals while in office in the Netherlands. His third coalition government resigned in early 2021 over a scandal involving investigations into child welfare payments that wrongly labelled thousands of parents as fraudsters. But just a few months later, Rutte bounced back, leading his conservative People's Party for Freedom and Democracy to victory in national elections.
Ukraine is giving the possibility to prisoners to fight as its army struggles to find new recruits. Those who sign up to the contract can regain their freedom on the condition they keep fighting until the end of the war with Russia. Around 3,000 prisoners have already registered. The new law aims to mobilize another several hundred soldiers, a process which could take months, but President Zelensky remains positive.
Ми зараз здатні перемогти імперські амбіції Росії. І це поверне спокій та впевненість усій нашій Європі. Ми працюємо з командою щодо постачання ще кількох Петріотів.
It follows NATO member Romania's pledge to donate a Patriot missile system to Ukraine as Russia's forces continue to bombard civilian areas.
Vladimir Putin says he's considering changing Russia's nuclear weapons doctrine due to the development of ultra-low power explosive nuclear devices by his country's adversaries. He made the comments during a press conference in Hanoi as part of his state visit to Vietnam. Putin also said he does not rule out sending weapons to North Korea, where he signed a mutual defense pact this week. But he conceded that no North Korean volunteers will be expected on Ukraine's front lines.
Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah has warned Israel and Cyprus that, if a full-scale conflict breaks out, no part of Israel will be safe.
يجب أن تحذر الحكومة القبرصية أن فتح المطارات والقواعد القبرصية للعدو الإسرائيلي لاستهداف لبنان يعني أن الحكومة القبرصية أصبحت جزءا من الحرب وستتعاطى معها المقاومة على أنها جزء من الحرب.
He also accused Cyprus of complicity with Israel, warning that any support for Israeli military operations against Lebanon would make Cyprus a target. Both Israel and Cyprus have denied any involvement in military actions and emphasized their roles in humanitarian efforts.
Έχω διαβάσει τις δηλώσεις που έχουν γίνει. Αυτό που έχω να απαντήσω είναι ότι η Κυπριακή Δημοκρατία δεν εμπλέκεται με κανένα τρόπο στις πολεμικές σειράξεις. Η Κυπριακή Δημοκρατία δεν είναι μέρος του προβλήματος. Η Κυπριακή Δημοκρατία είναι μέρος της λύσης.
These threats underscore the fragile geopolitical landscape in the Mediterranean. The international community is increasingly concerned that the continued exchange of fire between Hezbollah and Israel will escalate.
That means any threat against one of our member states is a threat against the European Union.
Both the United Nations and the United States have urged restraint and diplomacy at this time.
For the first time, the European Union targets Russian gas in a newly approved sanctions package. They will impose a ban on supplies of liquefied natural gas, but it won't be a complete prohibition, as happened with coal and oil. Instead, EU countries will be able to buy it, but it will not be possible to reship it outside the EU. For the President of the Commission, it's key to cut revenues from Russia. Ursula von der Leyen said in a tweet on X that she welcomed the agreement on the package, which will deny Russia access in key technologies and will strip them of further energy revenues. According to experts, despite its limitations, it's a way to start and it will not affect supplies for European citizens.
Gas was never sanctioned since the full-scale invasion, so I would say this is a huge first step. And it's quite important because the European Union created for Russia huge logistical obstacles.
To ship LNG to Asia during the winter, Russia needs to use European ports in France and Belgium, something that will now be forbidden.
Russia won't be able to use our ports. It means that they have to use either ship directly to Asia, either they have to find another location in, let's say, probably in Turkey or in other country where they can transship. So it means that their logistical route will be longer, plus it will cost them more to transship that.
The approval was delayed several times over the reservations voiced by several countries, including Hungary and Germany.
UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has said he is incredibly angry about allegations that Conservative candidates place bets on the date of the general election, and says anyone involved in using inside information to bet should be expelled from the party. Those facing investigation include a Tory candidate, an aide and one of the Prime Minister's police bodyguards. Sunak made his statement during a debate on BBC's Question Time, which saw the leaders of the country's 4 largest political parties take questions from a live studio audience.
Global leaders gathered in Paris to launch a new European-funded initiative to increase vaccine production in Africa. The African Vaccine Manufacturing Accelerator will provide nearly €1 billion over 10 years to support African vaccine manufacturers. It aims to address the large inequalities that came to light during the COVID-19 pandemic. The project was officially launched at a global forum co-hosted by France, the African Union and the International Vaccine Organization Gavi.
The final works are being carried out on the historical French cathedral, Notre-Dame de Paris. The stones and marble floors are restored. The first chimeras and gargoyles have been installed. The craftsmen will complete the covering of the spire. The painted canvas of the Virgin and Child, designed by 19th century architect Viollet-le-Duc, has just been recreated and returned to its original position. However, the cathedral is due to reopen to the public on December 8, 2024, which means the spectators that will visit the city for the Olympics won't be able to see the inside of the magnificent structure.
Chaque prêtre pèse 270 kg à peu près. Donc on a plusieurs éléments, on a le fleuron là, qui est la grosse partie et l'épi qui est la petite partie. Il nous reste 4 fleurons là, posés, donc on est vraiment à la fin de l'année.
Following the fire in April 2019, French President Emmanuel Macron promised the historic building would be completed in 5 years.
Je me trouve en Belgique. Depuis 2022, on assiste ici à une décriminalisation du travail du sexe. Désormais, les prostituées ont accès à des droits sociaux et pourront même signer des contrats de travail avec des employeurs, un système unique en son genre. Et cette maison derrière moi, qui paraît tout à fait normale, est en fait un salon de massage qui propose des services sexuels. Depuis des années, ces lieux étaient tolérés mais pas légalement autorisés. Alors qu'est-ce que ça veut dire pour les personnes directement concernées? C'est ce qu'on va voir dans Witness.
We hebben daar totaal geen problemen bij, dus hier is alles wettelijk. Het is lekker in de wet beschreven die er nu aankomt.
Ce qui est très inquiétant, c'est qu'elle va favoriser les proxénètes, les trafiquants qui existent déjà en Belgique et qui bénéficient déjà par ailleurs d'une énorme impunité.
It exists, and if you don't do it in the open, then it will exist underground. Now it's open, there's a regulation. It gets checked, we get a lot of controls everything. So I think that it's one of the best ways to work with it.